Welcome everybody to my live stream. International Master Will Paschall. We're streaming late, but better than not at all. Extreme heat emergency here. I think we approached around 101 Fahrenheit. It's dropped down to merely 96. Here as we approach late afternoon, early evening, I was just like dead. I had to take a break before attempting this. So, welcome to the stream of heat. In-depth analysis of subscriber games. Yeah, 101 is just below 40 degrees. It was like 38. It's like 38. 39, I think. It's like 38. I think 40 degrees Celsius is like 104. So we didn't quite get that hot. But I was unable to start at the prescribed time. Too hot. Now it's still hot, but I'm going to give it a shot. So our first game is Mr. Slow versus Hey World 2. Mr. Slow likes to play the Lopez with white. Welcome Mr. Coffee, Astrobate, Spectacular Camel. Thank you guys. The mainstays are here with me. Astrobate donated 100 bits. Appreciate it. I'm going to try to save up for an air conditioner. B-Jock. Saving up for an air conditioner. A room air conditioner. How are you doing in Serbia? Same heat, probably. I had to start late. It was too overwhelming, and I needed to take a break. I'm not used to this extreme heat. Yeah, same here. So, Mr. Slow, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, proper row Lopez, but black plays b5. What is up, guys? Thanks for being subscribers. Mr. Coffee, thanks for being our moderator. And a tier 2 sub. Thanks to Astrobate for being a tier 3 sub. Impossible without beer. I've got a beer here. I'm like afraid to open it. It's my last beer. I'm just using it as a cooler rather than actually drinking it. So, I just want to say, this b5, I mean, you know, the independent reason for playing this would be knight a5. There's no other reason for black to use this move order, as far as I know, but turns out there's some weird moves here. There's some weird moves. Look at that. G6. Well, Mamedyarov has apparently played this. So there's some new territory there. There's G6, which I had never seen. Some people are playing Bishop B7. But this is not any major names other than Mikhail Chisin. I don't know why he would play it randomly. So generally, if you want to play like the Archangel or whatever, you do knight f6, castles, and then b5, and then, like, you know, either bishop c5 or bishop b7. The Archangels, the Arctic Circle sounds good right about now. Have you considered pulling a Homer? Yeah. My fridge is right here. My poor fridge is probably on the verge of dying, though. I don't want to overtax it. Bradley Bloom, welcome. Yeah, if I just leave the fridge door open, it feels good. Something like that. Yeah, but I'm afraid that would probably put it over the edge. Homer would kill my fridge. So anyway, I just want to comment on this. Like, normally, the only reason to play this is knight a5. so-called Norwegian variation. Instead, his opponent played knight f6. Again, you know, I don't see any independent value in black's move order. But can white take advantage of it somehow? The Opening Explorer gives like 100 plus games here. I mean, the obvious question, which I think I've seen before, maybe even played myself, is knight g5. The problem with this is like an improved fried liver. So like black takes, and plays knight d4. I imagine that black is fine there. Or okay, at least. So this doesn't work. Mr. Slow just castles, and so we just transpose. I mean, it's kind of weird, you know. You think like, okay, there should be a way to take advantage of this, but there's not. d4 is the only other option. Maybe we should have a look at d4. By the way, guys, I've got games from Mr. Slow. I don't think I'm going to be able to do 10 today. We're going to stick with the ones we've got. 7 is enough for tonight because of the late start. Mr. Slow, Astrobait, Yabatis, Bradley Bloom, Uber Driver, Sumaher, and Mr. Neftov, non-computer analysis specified. It's gonna be a short stream tonight because it's just lucky I'm even here. This is why I like to be in Cape Cod right now. If I didn't have to sell my house, it was usually like in the 80s there instead of 100. So castles anyway. Let's take a look at d4. Maybe we can learn something here. Jesper Hall, Swedish Grandmaster. The YK17, you're kind of late. I just announced like we're only doing 7 games tonight. Then you want to get your game analyzed. I don't think we're going to have time. You can submit it, but I'm not going to guarantee we're going to get to it. Have to submit them before the stream. But you can still try. And if I don't get to it, I'll get to it next week. Yeah, anyway, I like this. This is worth looking at, d4. There's got to be a logical reason. Knight e4 takes. This is very weak. Knight c5 here. Really no strong players with white to judge by other than Jesper Hall. I mean, Tipsay wasn't bad, but let's see what the engine says. Nothing special after d6, ironically. Wow. Man, according to the computer, there's no concrete way to take advantage of this. But knight takes e4 might be a mistake. It looks kind of shaky. So this variation leaves white with some advantage. It looks like he should play d6 instead. But I mean, the final point is, why is black playing this order of moves? There is no benefit to playing this order of moves for black. This Mamadjarov move is the only reason, would be the only other reason to play this. Uber Driver. Yeah, Fisher invented that. Fisher got it from... Dude, get with the program. Do you know what it's called? Fisher borrowed it from the Norwegians, man. He stole it. Uber driver's like giving credit to Fisher for it. Fisher stole it like everything else. Instead of stealing it from the Russians, he stole it from the Norwegians. I actually met the guy who popularized Knight A5. He played it against Bobby, I think. Anyway, Mamajaro's move is interesting. Alright, so here we transpose to an Archangel. Bishop C5, C3, castles. And that's like a very unusual move. D6 is normal. This was all the rage like 10 to 15 years ago. Very popular. It seems like it's sort of petered out. It's not as popular now. The London system. Everyone stopped playing E4 for the London system. D6. So why is D6 important? D6 could be important because of knight takes E5. Is that not an issue? Can somebody explain this to me? Again, I don't guarantee getting beyond 7 games. It's necessary to submit your games well before the stream to guarantee. I had a late start today because of heat emergency. I can't stream for the full 3 hours I usually do tonight. I almost canceled the stream altogether. This is also interesting. There's also Bishop takes F2 check, which looks stupid. I like this for white. So like black is like Mr. Inaccuracy. 2 inaccuracies so far. Castles now. D4. No. He didn't play D4. But this is the point. I don't think knight G4 was really annoying in that last variation. It's like black doesn't have any pieces left. Here, castles. You can't attack. This is not annoying. This is just like bad for black. My air conditioner. I don't have an air conditioner. Dude, I never planned on living in Budapest in the summer. First of all, I never lived here in the summer. Secondly, we only have an air conditioner downstairs. And it's broken. But even if it wasn't broken, it wouldn't be able to work up here. This is stupid for black. This is just garbage. Not with the bishop sack? Yeah, but like, what do you want to do? This? Like this? No, I don't think so. That's like the fork trick. The other knight? Nah. Whatever it is bad for black. Plus 2.5. I'm just showing like black's move order is inaccurate all around. So he doesn't know what he's doing. It's strange. C3 castles, rook E1. This is too hesitant. Solid. But, you know, F2 is a weak point now. Why doesn't Mr. Slow play D4 here? Why is he so forgiving with this guy? Okay, I forgot to tell you it's 3 plus 2. But I mean, this is a good position, dude. We got a serious problem here. We can't maintain our strong point. So here, here, You go with Gregorians on this one. He drew me once, he must be good. Bishop d5 here. Yeah, and this is the good position. I like this for white. I go with Gregorians. Sergey. I mean, I don't, literally. Actually, I think... Strangely, I have this feeling he's involved with some Hungarian chess player. Alright, anyways. Maybe I'm crazy. So black misplays it, rook e1 is wrong. And now we've, like, again transposed back to some very quiet variation. h3 and rook e1. Basically, Mr. Slowhand is playing it like it's a normal Lopez. Like he's just pretending like the bishop's on e7. That's at least correct. So now we've transposed with a really weird move order into some kind of normal line again. No, there's nothing wrong with what Mr. Soyan did. I just thought it wasn't the most testing. You know, bishop g5 is standard here. Belyavsky plays this stuff with black. I think it's a normal Archangelsk now. This is definitely a move. And then you would expect like h6 to stop the bishop g5. But it may not be necessary. What else can black do? I mean, I really don't know much about either side of these lines. I've never played one of these lines in an over-the-board game. Just some blitz. b4 is possible. What's wrong with b4? It just doesn't do anything. Maybe. You lose a pawn. Is it just d5? I think you got a problem, Mr. Uber Driver. Unfortunately, b4, d5, and we just like take the pawn on b4. It looks like that's a problem. And this just drops. Yeah. I mean, it's nice to get the white square bishop, but I don't think it's worth the pawn. That's probably kind of dubious. Josh Friedel versus someone random. Josh actually played that. Funny, I mean, looks like d5 busts it. Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird, and the guy couldn't find d5. Couldn't find his way out of paper bag. Yeah, it just loses. It's absurd. Okay. a4 here. Black is up to center. Alright, I mean, this is kind of normal to play for c5. It looks sort of normal. What? And I was expecting c5 here. But it may just be slow. Black just gave up his strong point in the center. And you gotta try to get a Benoni or something going on. You gotta get control of the center. d5 looks kind of weird. Maybe it's not that bad. He's going to try to plant a knight on e4. I know, something about this just doesn't look right. I guess what bothers me is that being blocked. Like, if it's an open row Lopez, you have your bishop on e6. Where it's somewhat bad, but at least it attacks this diagonal. But I don't like blocking the b7 bishop on the long diagonal here. It doesn't look right. e5, knight e4. See, this is the thing that... It's like a bad open low pass. Now, one thing that should be noted here, white can't like trap that knight or anything with f3 because of knight g3. Once you played h3, you can't trap the knight with f3. So Mr. Slow, you know, plays like the Rosalimo with white too. He's got a good feel here. Probably knight c3. Knight c3 or knight d2. It's a good question, which is better. Could also exchange on b5. I'm not sure that benefits white. I don't like taking. That would liberate this bishop. d5 before b4. What? What are you talking about? Before b4? What? I don't even know what you're talking about, man. What b4? Like, I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, you can't do d5. There's too much pressure in the center. That's crazy. You're just gonna lose a pawn. This can't possibly work. You're just losing this pawn here. No. Yeah, the normal move is the passive h6. Yeah, anyway. I mean, maybe black could play like c5. This is what Torrey played. Gross pay there. c5 is a really weird Lopez, but it's playable. I don't like, I don't like giving up our strong point. Mr. Slow played correctly. Question is, what now? Can black play f5? May not be worse than what happened, honestly. Guys, don't overanalyze this. Sorry, it's a fast blitz game. I'm just saying. This rook might be sorry that it's on the e-file. What about b5? Yeah, now you're talking. We're just taking a pawn. Details, Uber driver. It's okay. But that's a constructive question. Yeah, it's a pawn. Black can play it as a gambit of sorts. Yeah, I guess computer's not going to like it. It feels black's just down a pawn. Alright, so he does a sensible thing. He takes. But this is like, picture, snap a Polaroid of this. We're threatening the Greek gift now with bishop takes h7. Game over. It's over. That is chess. Game over. And that's it, man. That's why we don't like our bishop here. By the way, if this bishop was on e6, takes, check, king here, queen h5, bishop f5, and black's winning. The problem is d5. Bishop e7, d5. That doesn't work. So good game by Mr. Slow. And now the Crusher. Fred the Crusher is up next. g6. And now I wonder, is it best to go here? Should we crack through with e6? Greco's a little more old school than Pillsbury, I would think. Alright, the problem is he comes here. Then you got the 96. Doesn't work. And there's some fun stuff. He's coming this defense. 96 doesn't seem to work. So he goes there, and whoa. Oh. Alright, this. I wonder if that works, actually. I think we got something here. Takes, check, here. Queen takes, check, king here, check, king here, mate. Maybe that's the line. Of course, he doesn't have to play rook h8. But we're still on 96, no matter what. It's like no matter what. There's no way you're defending. Anyway, it's over. So good game for Mr. Slow. I imagine black cannot defend this under any circumstances. The pieces are just like on a different board, you know? Like we're on our side, you're on your side. Those pieces are not playing the same game as black's king, right? Yeah, bishop c8. Maybe bishop c8. Is worthy of consideration, but it's the same thing. You're still going down in flames. Check. Here. Check. Here, and it's mate every time. It's mate every freaking time, Jerry. God damn it, Jerry. It's mate every time. And there's bishop g5 like someone else mentioned. We don't want to let him get over here, though. Yeah. Guys, please support the stream. Where's our... Whatever happened to our... heat wave... train conductors? Acerbate! Wait a minute, you're a hype train conductor again. I didn't know that. Acerbate donated 100 bits. He tried to start the hype train. Is Mr. Slow here? This is just crushing. And just mean. That's even mean. He's getting away. What's up with 94? We're gonna queen. Can't believe it. His last chance to get away. It doesn't matter. White's material advantage is too much. Good game. Acerbate did it. 500 bits. World user welcome. How's the heat in Poland? I'm dying here. We had to start the stream late. Serbia and Hungary are boiling. Maybe further north you're alright. Very bad heat wave. But tomorrow it's coming to an end. We have rain all day tomorrow and temperatures dropping 20 degrees. Finally. It hasn't rained in like 2 weeks almost. Mr. Sloyan just donated 5 gift subs. Before empty, anti-correlator, Swift Breeze 4-3, that sounds good. Alarming comparison and Rook and Morphe. Thank you, Mr. Slow. 5 gift subs. I'm sorry guys, my brain is fried. Mr. Sloan with a bit, sorry I did it again, with the donation of subs lead for the week. Gift sub lead. Mr. Slow, good game. You know, it's odd that you can't take advantage of that guy's move order in the opening more. That's the one thing that I can't stop thinking about that game, and I've also played myself, you know, games like that. Alright, next game is Asterbait. What? Alright, Asterbait is black. Thank you for the... Will the train start? We never know when the hype train will start. Last time it started pretty quickly, but I think with the heat, the trains are a little slower. You know, the heat slows down the trains because the track can be like more malleable or whatever. Track will melt. So Asterbait, I gotta flip the board. Houston, hot and humid always. Got a lot of viewers from Texas here. Not at the moment, but in general. Texas is a big state. Alright. G3, C5. Oh, it needs 3 different donators within a certain time span. I didn't realize that. So we had gift subs from Mr. Slow. Asterbait made a bit donation. Maybe Mr. Coffee needs to chip in. Uber driver needs to open up his piggy bank. Alright. G3, C5. Mr. Coffee donated 200 bits. It's a question, though. You know, no guarantees. I don't know exactly how the hype train works. Just appreciate the effort, guys. G3, C5. Thanks again, Mr. Slow. This is Asterbait's game with black. Facing the birds opening now. It's a simple way to answer. I told you, if you want to just play C5 against like F4. Mubot's asleep. He's overloaded by heat. Okay, this is just like a mentally insane move. Right, Uber driver tempted to play E5. Asterbait doesn't go for it. That's weird. You think Asterbait would be scamming like ways to get this mate on H4? You know, is it too blatant, Asterbait, to play E5? You never know what starts the hype train. Alright, I mean, E5 looks really justified here. I mean, what's he gonna do? He's toast after E5. Probably G5. Even that looks bad. Takes. Knight F3. H6. It's like the worst King's Gambit ever for white. So white just made a mouse slip, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else to call this. Honestly, this looks like a mouse slip. I guess not, because he just made another one. Alright, Asterbait, a serious game. This is on the lighter side. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. That wouldn't be my first choice. There's a mate, dude. How are you not tempted to go for that mate? You're actually blocking your own diagonal. Okay, E6. It doesn't force mate or anything. I mean, white's defending it and you can win a double pawn or something. This isn't that clear. Of course, maybe that's not the best line, but... Bishop F6. No. Bishop E5. This is more Asterbait speed. If he takes it, we have mate in 1. The old, like, bait and switch. H5 undermining the pawn structure. Uber driver, I used to think you were like a classical player or something. Like a maniac. Alright. So, ridiculous, played by white. Black plays knight f6. And then white just like, oof. Gives up his monster f5 pawn. And now d4. Absolutely unprincipled. Can't say I've never seen Aspey play knight g4 before. Yeah, I mean there I was like leaning toward the pawn capture. So you got this. Now maybe knight h3. I mean f2 is weak. So white is just like an absolute beginner. Alarming comparison. Thanks for being a subscriber. Thanks for Mr. Sohan's gift sub. White is an absolute beginner, or he's taking drugs. And too much of them. And the wrong kind. One or the other. But at the same time, how is he 1500? You know, it has to be the drug explanation. Like, that's the point. He can't just be an absolute beginner. I mean, 1500 is a little too good for this. There's no way this guy is 1500 and playing like g4, f5. He has to be drunk or incapacitated. Queen e4, d5, queen d3, check. King f8 style. Here. And he loses the queen. Alright, it's his little brother. Like, you beat his 3-year-old brother. Aspey, you crushed this kid's, like, 3-year-old brother. Basically. It's clearly not drunk or a beginner. This was the guy's 3-year-old brother. And that was like his... That was like his 4th game of chess in his whole life. I hope you're proud of yourself. He clearly knows the rules. You took your time, man. Bishop takes e1. The old Astrobate would have mated here. Uber driver, thank you. Portable air conditioner. Portable air conditioners have hoses. The hoses cost approximately $5. B5, King A5, Knight C6 mate. Or Queen B6. No, it's not mate. This is the only mate. You used to think about mate more. Now you got it. Alright, Aspate. I think you should pick your games for the stream, not based on center pawn loss. Just a suggestion. You're not getting anything out of this, really. You know, when you go to pick a game that you submit for the stream, you can submit a game that's like based on entertainment value. If that was your intention here, it's fine. But otherwise, I feel like you're not getting the maximum out of it. You said like this game was like 5 center pawn loss or something. Or very few inaccuracies or whatever. But I mean, come on. He's a total beginner. I know it's satisfying to beat a 3-year-old child, but, you know. This game was a non-entity. Alright. Yabadis is up next. Organizer of the study for every week. Thanks to Uber Driver for your donation. It's down to like 94 degrees here. That's the good news. Husky, hello. Doing alright. Trying to stay cool. Drank my beer already. Oh no, I still have some left. That's the best feeling. When you think you drank your whole beer and there's still like a third of the beer left. It's like finding money in the couch. You know that feeling? When you're like a poor bachelor. One of my roommates used to like scan the couches in the fraternity house for change, loose change. Many Many a sitcom has probably featured that theme. But finding a third of my beer in my beer is pretty good. I'm just like drinking everything I can find. It's so hot here. Guzzle it down. I would drink like pretty much anything. G3, D5, Bishop G2, E5. This is Yubadis' new move order with the G3 early. Now Knight C3. Okay, reverse modern. D4 is a move. C6 is a move. Knight F6 is a move. They're all good. But bang. Takes him by surprise. So black can take the space. It's just like a delayed dunce opening. You have two choices. Choice A or choice B. I forgot the joke now. Choice A. Stay with your wife for the rest of your life. B, B, B. That was the joke. Choice A is D4. Gaining space but playing a closed game. No, I'm really not into the Grand Chess Tour. I guess after all those like Magnus Carlsen online things, I'm not into like Rapid or Blitz or any of that. I just want to see like Weekends A and like real chess tournaments like the Candidates and the World Championship. I'm really only interested in long games. Choice C and D haven't been invented yet, B-Jack. I'm not interested in stuff like that. Just serious chess. The Grand Chess Tour, if it's classical, I'm interested. I'm interested only in classical chess, as far as watching other players play or analyzing their games. So, this is really the question: pawn takes pawn or d4? Analyzing with Yubadis, a lot of these types of variations, it seems like this is often superior. So this like destroys white center. Let's think about it fundamentally. I'm a chess teacher. The more I teach chess, the more it comes down to pawn center. That's the number one takeaway I have from really becoming a specialized chess teacher in the last like 5 years. Not that I didn't teach chess before, but I did other things. Since I've really only taught chess for the last 5 years, the number one thing I've noticed is that most everything has to do with like destroying the enemy's center. It's so important. This doesn't destroy the enemy's center. Excuse me, this doesn't destroy the enemy's center. It builds your own center. This destroys enemy center and leaves you with a center at e5. It's a matter of style, usually based on whether you like closed position or open. But I think like they're both good, and it's like the same question. The fundamental question is this: like after knight c3, d5, e4, do you push or do you take? Let's give you the simplest example. You know, do you push or do you take? I'm a taker. You know, I'm more of a taker. International Master Jesse Cry, who's a friend of mine and former roommate for one tournament before he kicked me out for snoring, or he left me. Anyway, we know each other. He likes pushing. I've always really believed in taking. But at the end of the day, it's like style, you know? You're not going to wrap the game up as quickly in the closed position. Computer maybe likes like pushing better. Computer likes pushing better. Alright. Anyway, I think it's more important for me, you know, not one centipawn. Or not 1/10 of a pawn My point is that it's more important that you're comfortable with the position that you play than 0.1/10, 1/10 of a pawn. It's more important that you're comfortable with the position that you're playing. That's worth several pawns, probably. So choose wisely. I see a lot of people. Another mention I'm going to make. Weaker players play really badly with space advantage. Husky sitting there saying d4 is better, you have space advantage. But you have to realize, Husky, that for players under 2200, it absolutely usually leads to disaster. Space advantage is only something that players with a lot of skill can really take advantage of. And that's why hypermodernism is actually valuable. Like, I don't want to play the Alyekin's defense against strong players. I will play, and I enjoy playing Alyekin's defense against weak players. Because they handle, like, space advantages badly. Also, consideration is the speed of the game. Alright. But anyway, d4 here. Knight b1 is also conceivable. d3 looks interesting. Nobody ever does that. Well, B-Jock, I think the majority of the games we played have been like Nimzos. And it's hard to get an open game in the Nimzo. Harder. What's surprising is that, like, this guy's unwilling to play d3, changing the dynamic. Oh, here's a friend of mine. So a game pops up immediately. Every game is like from Hungary. Mihai Vrona is a good friend of mine. Older master. Against another player who I know, Kungabor. Kungabor must have been like a teenager back then he must have been a little kid back in 1995. He's probably like 15. Castle. At least black played c5. This is better than most people. If black plays c5 and knight c6 and knight d7 and turns it into a reverse King's Indian, he's doing better than most people. f4. I would play knight c6. Another thing is, like, why is black committing to castling? Why do we have to commit to castling? Just play c5 first. See, that's what Kungabor did. This is exactly how their game went. Why does black have to commit? Wait and see. Flexibility is extremely, extremely valuable. h3, c5, good. f4 is good. And then the guy takes. This is a major, major moment in the game. I mean, that was our strong point. Well, one of them, anyway. Formerly known as the strong point. I don't like it, I would rather maintain e5. Play knight c6. This looks wrong. Take, and here. And he wants to go down and get you with queen h4 check. Yeah, the problem is knight f3 and there's nothing. So, but there's one thing here. If you guys want to study how to play the King's Indian and how to play against it, I strongly recommend the Sammy Reshevsky book, The Art of Positional Play. Sammy was a player I didn't know personally, sadly. When I was a kid, when I first learned chess, back in the 80s, Reshevsky was advertising lessons in Chess Life magazine. But I had this temptation to go try to get lessons with him, but I never bothered. Too far to go to New York City from where I lived. You study just Makaganov. Well, this is similar to Makaganov. Just that black didn't play h6 and castle committed to castling too early. For example, if black played like h6 instead of castling, I mean, this is not ridiculous. We could have something along the Makaganov. style. It's basically a kind of reverse Makhaganav, except white hasn't played knight f3. So that's Yabatis' thing. He's trying to play f4 and save a move. White would play f4. If, for example, h3, g5, I'm starting to like black here. Maybe. If we can't bust up the center, maybe like white can try c3. Joseph Henry Blackburn might go nuts with like b4. Yabatis doesn't like this. He doesn't like it when I suggest stuff like this. But if you study the games of some great players, this may be the only chance to destroy the black pawn chain. You know, maybe we have to play very sharply here. Attack the head of the pawn chain at d4. I'm just saying hypothetical stuff. So anyway, I was talking about Reshevsky. If you want to understand how to play the King's Indian in positions like this, The Art of Positional Play was the best book I can recommend. You know, Reshevsky has a number of strong games against King's Indian in that book, and also other people. There goes the center. And now f5. This is mandatory. This is freaking mandatory. There is no other way to play this. Talk to a Hungarian grandmaster like Farago Ivan, he's here in his 70s, still playing chess, and still over 2300. He's still over 2300, and he's around 70, 74. So goes the center. And so it goes, according to Kurt Vonnegut. But man, f5, if Sammy Reshevsky or Ivan Farago was playing black, I would almost guarantee this is the move. What do I think about how to recess your chess? Well, you know, it's a Silman book, man. He's a good author. He's not a snake oil salesman. I don't know Jeremy. We never met personally, more than to play in one tournament together or something, but I respect what he's done. Like, he's serious about his work. He's not a garbage author. He's written some quality stuff. He's marketed himself really well. But everyone that I know respects Silman's books. I think the Reassess Your Chess is good. But for someone like you, Husky, I mean, it's not designed for you. You're master strength already. Silman's books are designed for players between, like, you know, 1200 and 2000, you know, for the most part. They're not designed for advanced players. Silman's books are geared toward amateurs. You're too beyond that. The idea of f5, blockading, and this bishop is bad. If you compare, you know, my bad bishop on c1 to your bad bishop, what if we get this type of structure? Like, bad things can happen to white. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. But I'm just saying, if we get a blockade type structure with bishop e6, you know, assuming this bishop doesn't win here, we get bishop e6, good control of that blockaded protected passed pawn, and then we see h6 g5 30 moves from now after white castles kingside. Structure is important. Aren't we all amateurs? I'm a beginner next to Garry Kasparov. Alright, whatever. Black needed to play f5. You know, I think white should consider playing f5 himself. But there's some problems here. So I'm actually not sure what white should do. This is a question. I guess just knight c6 wasn't a mistake, because you can always play f5 when you want to play it. Yabatis plays a3. I don't like this move a lot, I'll be honest. But I'm not sure what white should do. I think white should just castle, you know, probably. c3, Yabatis doesn't like that. I know him, he doesn't like it stylistically. But I like destroying the enemy's center. It's a really big fundamental thing. Is there a tactic here? No. I mean, I'm serious. No, F5 has some questions. Like this. I'm not certain what's going on after that. You have to play a very strange game. Or take here. King F1. It's a weird position after that. But is this move, for example? Interesting. My default move would be castle. I don't like A3. This is a very stupid move. Wasting time. It's funny, Ubatis had like almost an identical game I saw once. I mean, even knight takes h4 is just advantage to white. Your bishops are free. Chicks for free and your bishops for nothing. What's the Dire Straits song? Alright. I'm old enough to have seen Dire Straits in concert. That's kind of scary. Though they were old even then. Bishop d2. Here. 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 Big hole on e5 now. Good job. Ferris Bueller. That's what it was reminding me of. I couldn't remember what it was. There was something about Black's name that was bothering me as an American. And I couldn't figure out what it was. It's first Blucher. It was Ferris Bueller. Alright. Never watched that movie, oddly enough. It was a sensation when I was in high school. Knight takes e5. And now, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have that much. We don't have much at all. Tigran the Great will hold a draw here with Black. Yeah, I mean, you about to let him trade too many pieces. It's like failure to use common sense. Probably king h8. Black is fine. I guess it's not even necessary, though. Basically, Black is fine. You let him off the hook. He's preparing rook g3. Maybe it's an interesting exchange sacrifice. Let's go for it. That would be funny, though. With the idea of this. And this. It's not really enough, though. Like rook b6. Here. It's a fantasy, you know, sack the exchange. I'm just joking around. But I mean, what are you doing, objectively? You're threatening f6 now. King h8? Can you play king h8, man? Or f freaking 6? Anything. Jeez, he's got a rook here, can come along and defend. What is this guy doing? He's going to allow you to play f6. What about f6? Hangs a queen. Alright. Never mind. That's what I'm doing this week. I don't see obvious moves. I figured it out on my own. I'm proud of that. No, Ubatis, this was not a great game. Bishop e4. He's fine here. And then back. It looks like one of my blitz games. c3. Take, take. Now Black has good control of d4. This guy was pretty good. And he wasn't bad. Check. That was a feisty move. Now you're prepping rook g3. I still like Black. Black has solid control. Computer thinks it's dead even. Come on. Point 1. Rook b7. Triple exclaim. If only he was Karpov, he would have a point 1 advantage. It's Uber driver. He's got a decent game. You know, he's all right. And now look how you're like, oh, okay, I give up. I'll play bishop e3. You were like, why are you trading pieces now? I like this. Ubatis, this is no time to give up. I think your bishop on f4 is pretty good. Maybe time. Black has like no time. But actually, I like the bishop on f4. Yeah, I understand it though. I mean, it's hard to make progress. His bishop's such a monster. Maybe objectively it's a good move. But what are you going to do? Like, yeah, alright. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a good move. Maybe you're right. There's nothing there. You got a problem with the queenside majority, dude. This guy's going to queenside majority you to death. Like, all he has to do is play a5, b4, b3, hasta la vista. That queenside majority is like, it's like a major mineshaft cave-in. He's got to try to do that. What else is he going to do? Take, take. This is an alert, a heat alert. There you go. Alright, so you don't seem to have a threat. I mean, the threat is like e5, f6, slow motion. He just keeps going. You ignored it. You'd think like you would just at least exchange pawns. Now let me ask you a question. Did you not exchange pawns because you're afraid of like rook takes b4 pinning you? Was that like a calculated thing? Because I would expect black to take with the pawn. The only move? What do you mean? Why is it the only move? Like you're losing by force if you don't play e5? I don't think you're like losing by force. You're maybe worse with the queenside majority. Well, not the only move, it's the best move. There's a big difference, Tobias. The best move and the only move are not the same. The only move means that it's the only move that doesn't lose. Your vocabulary is wrong. A takes b4 is fine. e5 is the best move. No, I mean, it's a draw, man. But I understand why you played it. It was the best move. But no, seriously, only move is a very specific chess term. That's like in the informator, it's the box. You know, the square in the chess informator in the lingo of chess informants. It's a very serious move. When you say only move, that means it is the only move that doesn't lose by force. Alright. He found the best move. Here. It was hard to get him to admit. Hard to get him to admit he misspoke there. He's a tough customer. Don't want to get in an argument with him. Takes, takes. And now again, ignoring this. I imagine there's more than one approach here. I think you're still fine. Maybe now we really are better. And you can just take. The question would be that. I mean, Spassky with the centralization. Yeah, no, you're right. F6 is big threat of winning the game by force. This is a heat emergency. Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, F6, one of the most classic attacking themes in chess. There was some combination book I had where there was like an entire chapter devoted to F6. That move, it has its own chapter in chess tactics books. Knight Queen G5 is game over on the next move. This is where black starts to pray. and ask himself why he didn't play f6 before. There's a check on d5 that doesn't do anything. Taking on a3 loses by force. Taking on f6 should get mated. But should and does are not the same thing. I mean, can we just look at this for a second? It's counterintuitive, but I wonder. Makes you wonder, could you survive here? I don't see a forced mate. Like check, king h8. Almost though. If only the rook was like on e4. I mean, maybe you're winning, but there's no clear, decisive, crushing, immediate win. It's going to take a few moves. And this is still kind of messy. You like first e takes f6. Threatening mate. So king h8 is only move. Or check. But that probably makes it worse. So I say king h8. Where's the win? I don't see, but I guess we take here, take. We got it. That wins. And you win the queen. But I don't think black can defend otherwise. There was no other defense. Just to verify. There was a defense. Oh my god. Damn, there's 3 different defenses. Wow, and all of it, like, depending on this? Oh my god. There's 3 defenses here. King h8. None of it holds up, though. Queen d5 check. King h2. King h8. It looks like it all loses eventually. But he could have put up a lot more resistance. Alright, good game. Next, Bradley Bloom. We don't know very well. Bradley's new here, relatively new. Alright, that was a long analysis. Thanks, Ubatis, for being our faithful caretaker of the Thursday analysis study. Bijak gets credit for writing king h8. Anyway, bishop f4. Once I played against my friend Dees, I did this just to troll white. Alright, I'm going to turn off the engine. Don't forget, last game with Nefedov requested no computer analysis. Nefedov is afraid that robot dogs are going to take over his house. And who can blame him? Now, objectively, we have several different options, depending on what your opening repertoire consists of. Knight f6, b6. d6 is kind of a troll move. c5, d5. That's about it. The game 90-30, nice. Online Classical League. The only time patrol I'm respecting. Guys, in another 2 weeks I'm playing in a tournament, just so you know. I'll be trying to get in a stream here or there. Alright, bishop f4. f5. It's not his game. Yeah, there should be a penalty for submitting a game against London. No. We take pride in beating the London. Alright, f5 is fine. You know, you can play what you want. I don't think bishop f4 is a great move against anything, so the Dutch is fine. I'm trying not to look at the Opening Explorer to bias my analysis. But there really is like, there are two ideas which come to my mind. You know, first of all, we could try to do a fianchetto. That seems the most natural. To do a Larson bird thing reversed. Number one move. Not a great score for black, notably. Uber Driver says bishop e7 and h5. I was thinking, you know, a setup based on d6. Like a Simon Williams, Ilyan Ganevsky variation. Basically, you know, something to kill that bishop so we can play for e5. Move order is a question, though. I mean, maybe you play bishop e7 first, then you do d6, then you castle, you know, and then you go to knight c6 or whatever. You know, they're different permutations. I like the Nimzo, I like the Queen's Indian, you know, so I would probably gravitate toward b6. What I don't like here is the score. Why is black's score so bad on b6? My only real fear is like c4. Shankland Ivanchuk. Ivanchuk like feeling physically ill when Shankland played the London system against him. 2015. No doubt. No, you don't want to play knight d5, man. That's not a real move. But I agree with Uber Driver. I mean, it's probably more principled not to commit to the queenside fianchetto. I'm just too used to playing the Queen's Indian. You know, I don't really play the Dutch. No, another note, this is not absurd. Glazirov, who's a big Dutch expert, lost. Short lost. Glazirov draw. Rapport lost. I mean, it seems weird to play g6 and e6 so early. But g6 is playable. d6 is playable. Captain Picard. Wow. Rivas even played the Magnus Carlsen like bishop d6. 2018. You can play anything, man. You know. Okay. So you actually did that. Yeah, I mean, frankly, I don't really like this move. It's probably okay. I mean, even if white does like bishop g3, like, what are we doing with this? I still think, like, Uber Driver, I agree. Maybe you have knight h5 in some positions. I mean, are you threatening knight h5 here? So white has to play h3. See, black's starting to get some score there. This feels very principled. And good players with black. So Oscar lost against Keto Lee. Probably the better player. I mean, does white have some sort of g4? style stuff. Looks kind of unsound. Again, I'm out of my depth here though, because I don't really know the Dutch with black. There are probably books where they're like expert analysis on this. So I don't love bishop d6. I noticed like 2 people took on d6, but I mean allowing the capture in f4 seems fine. This seems fine. I'm surprised there's no transpositions. Yeah, knight c4 makes sense. I guess. Maybe not. You know, the problem here is that black has very good control of e4. When he plays knight c4, it's kind of like, well, okay, great. You know, now I take and whatever. This control here, we can play d6. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like this. The knight looks sort of stupid now on c4. Yeah, I mean, I would suspect that knight c4 is even a mistake by white. But it's also possible that bishop g3 is a mistake. Maybe just leave it there. You know, what if he just goes like here? I mean, this capture is not that great for black. Rubinstein with white. That would be interesting to see. Yeah, I suspect. Well, the computer likes taking. Once like this happened to me against Igor Novikov in an English defense. What ended up happening was like something like this. He got in like c4 and d5. And then I hated my position. It was something like this. Where my queen side, I was like, oh my god. What am I going to do with my queen side pieces? They're like idiots. So there are some dangers there. Yeah, I don't like knight c4 a lot. Looks like black's good here. As always in the Dutch, this is kind of a weird move. But it's probably okay here. You've got queen e7. And where else is your knight going to go, objectively? I mean, there's a possibility of knight here, knight here. Or knight here, knight here, knight here. So the thing is, on d7 it's kind of limited, but it's alright. It looks fine. Yeah, I mean, here now, I really like delaying castling against the London. There's somebody like teaches these people to play the London with castles queenside. But honestly, if you're black here, why not play queen e7 and just wait? You know? Because you don't have to like panic. He's not threatening anything. His knight is stupid. He has no g4. He has no e4. Knight g5 doesn't do anything. White has basically no threats. And I think if he's going to castle queenside, let's just let him castle queenside. And just go for him. You know? I mean, probably I would castle kingside too. But we might be able to initiate a faster queenside attack by delaying castling. So I would wonder how to do that, though. I like queen e7. It's a good move anyway. Castles queenside, and now, how can we do something to him on the queenside really fast? Like, this is bad because of knight a5. So I was thinking a5. I like this. It's like plus 0.7 for black. a4. Queen e7 is move number 1. Castles now. g6, that's a weird move. So it's okay, whatever. Castle here. He's got no e4. Now you played knight e4, but the threat is stronger than the execution. Edward L. Rick, welcome. No, but Edward also is... I think by castling long, you're also reducing your counterattacking chances. If he has no threats, I don't feel any need to castle at all, you know? I'm going to leave my king in the center and start a queenside attack. No problem. As long as he can't play e4 and open it up. Flexibility is everything. If you play knight e4, he might have g4. See, I don't know that I like that. Maybe it's not a problem. Knight here. He's nibbling on my house. But maybe it's fine. Is white threatening anything? This move made me like a little freak out. I like c5 in general if you can play it. But that's really opening up a massive hole here on d6. We have to be very, very careful if you're going to play c5. That move has to be extremely handled with caution. I would really prefer not to do that, or at least be better developed if we're going to go for that. Maybe queen e7 first, connecting the rooks. This looks a little risky. This square could be dangerous. This is nice, though. Guess what? There's no knight a5. So that's the point. I mean, c5 took away a5 for his knight. And now, I mean, even a6, where white is just like no way forward. Nice knight you got there. b4 may be good. Must calculate. Obviously, you know, this looks a bit more normal. Here you have a lot of options. A rook c8, queen a5. It looks like you're going to hold his kingside attack with just h6. This brings his knight back in the game. That makes me a little nervous, and he's like winning control of e4, which I'm not really crazy about. I guess it doesn't matter, you've got tactics. Our pressure on the c-file is too fast. Yeah, I mean, probably black is winning. This is all for nothing. Typical, like, these guys, they'll have like 17 pieces attacking g6 and they can't even like sack a piece. That's the modern London system. I guess they're taught by some obscure like YouTube videos or something by 1500s. But I mean, who is expanding this idea that it's like normal to castle queenside in the London system? It's ridiculous. It's not designed to castle queenside. In fact, like in no queen pawn closed games are you normally castling queenside. The Stonewall, the London, the Tory attack, the Kali system. These openings are not designed for white to castle queenside. Exactly. It's just like fake stuff espoused by people like Eric Rosen. It works at the 1200 level, but if you play anyone good, you're just gonna lose. This is like classic. Now you could just like take on c3, have a huge position. This is good. And then he lost the piece. It's pretty convincing. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here, folks. Just clean victory by black. Maybe this part was a little sloppy, but I like the king and pawn game even. If you play queen takes d4, you're winning. Certainly not bashful. Alright, good game. That looked pretty clean. So we got to Uber driver. Advice on how to learn practical endgames like this. Well, I mean, that's just a winning position, you know. I would go a step further than a practical endgame. I think that's just like a winning position. You have an overwhelming advantage there. Queen against like rook and knight. Just take your time, you know. Shereshevsky's biggest advice in endgame strategy is do not rush. It's like the number one rule of endgames. Probably applies anywhere. Don't watch Super GMs. Don't watch bullet chess. Alright, so Uber driver playing black. No, you're white. It seems to me that you've played this before. Against Asterbait. This is the best move. This is Uber driver's move. Against Miro. Yeah, maybe it was. The other moves here for white, I played today a game with e3, knight f3. That about wraps it up. I mean, that's about it. Anything else is bad. You got d5 takes. So white played the fourth best move here. D takes c5. But he avoids mainline theory. I think that white... The question is white worse here? Or just equal? One question is Nigel, what would Nigel Davies say? Nigel Davies wrote books on like the ready opening with white, you know, so you get similar lines. For example, like knight f3, d5, c4 takes. Davies, for example, was recommending e4 against this d takes c. So I guess our first question would be, should black go for it and try to play like e5? You know, like Nigel recommends there. With flipped board, is e5 just as good? So it appears other people have attempted. The young Anna Ushanina, an old friend of mine, and the Irish I am Colm Daly have both played d takes c5. Knowing full well that it's not really a great move. It's a matter of principle. Rather, it's a matter of playing a position that takes the opponent out of their comfort zone and just, is it that bad? So I want to see this e5. e5 is clearly the most aggressive. But white retains, at least temporarily, control of the d5 square. It actually, like, you know what? If black played d5 and white played cd, this would transpose to one of those... No, it wouldn't transpose because the knight's on f3. I'm just saying, if it was black's move, he'd sack a pawn. e3, that's scary. a3. a3, d5. The problem here is this take check, winning back that piece. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind it. Anyway, I'm just messing around with some opening lines here with the engine. So your opponent doesn't try to really challenge it with e5, plays knight a6. I think e6 is the most natural. That's definitely fine. e5 is aggressive. Knight a6, I mean, if you know, anything is good but queen a5. This seems like a strange move. Shockingly, like, this is even playable, according to the engine. I mean, that move seems to violate fundamental principles. I'm very surprised that Dorfman and Gelashvili played that. Gelashvili was just a 2200 at the time, though. I don't like queen a5. This is interesting. I saw a little bit of this game. Now it reminds me of the Nimzo. Now you must take... This is like a ready line reversed, right? The knight comes back here. I mean, you don't have to play b4 either. Colmdaly drew against Hebe. Shalava had a win. This seems normal. b6 and bishop b7. It's very logical. The other players played g6, developing kingside. Obviously not worried about this. Colmdaly actually played that. I mean, you got to admit, like, White has good control of the d5 square. And he drew a strong player. But it seems like a major concession to give up that dark square bishop. With all these dark square weaknesses in the white position all over the place. There's definitely a double-edged... That's a weird Trompowsky for white. Okay, b6, here, here, g3. So far, it all makes sense to me. And then black played knight g5. You must adhere to principles in the opening. This feels incorrect. I wasn't expecting Driver to sack the exchange, but I felt this move like waste time. Why should black be playing that? I mean, bishop g2, knight f3. Even if you played it simply with like bishop f3, pawn takes f3, white is probably at least equal here. So you decided to sack in exchange. Very interesting. I mean, maybe not. Maybe you're just trapping his rook on h1. Rather bishop. The prison. Get in the jail. The Roach Motel. Very nice. It's gone. Nice job. I don't think there's any way he could save it. It looks good. So black desperately creates weaknesses on the white squares. Now that his white square bishop is missing. That was the only thing, like, defending these squares. It's like cut off over there. I can't help. You know, it doesn't really make sense. Black, maybe black could try something like h5, right? h5, h4. Wouldn't that be the first try you would think of? For example, h5, knight h3, h4. And if knight f2, we rescue our piece bravely. Pawn takes pawn. Now, let's say g4, we sack a knight, pawn takes, and then free the bishop, and it's a complicated game. That's an example of a logical way to handle the situation. But what does black do instead? He just like randomly opens the position with d5, knight d2. Nothing changes over here on the king side. Uber driver wisely just defends this. Now h6. The problem is with that, this is where we really lost our mind now. Why is this move useful? You just played h6. Well, anyway, I'm just on my way to grandmother's house to like collect that bishop on h1. You're not even threatening anything. It's a very bad move. And now black's like, oh, okay, I'll play the Albin counter gambit. And he just like, goodbye. And he just sacks the piece. This is literally the worst Albin counter gambit I've ever seen for black. Tempting to take with the pawn. But I guess you like this pawn on d4. It's better. Free pawn. Nice. Totally freaked out. I mean, if rook c8, rook c1, and this pawn on d4 is falling. So black's just going to be down 2 pieces for a rook. It's over. Simply down 2 pieces for a rook. No compensation. And as usual, I would say, okay, in general, you don't want to trade material when you're down. There is one exception here. This situation where black has a lone rook. Sometimes like 2 minor pieces have trouble against a rook. They're tangled up, they're hard to coordinate, you know. So normally I would say he made a mistake trading, but maybe he has some logic there. Unfortunately, it looks like you're just too strong. I mean, the pawns now just massive pawn. And that's obviously not a good move. But black was lost anyway. Declining knight e6 check. Somewhat stronger than the game continuation. This is a nice move though. Breaking out. Not a nice diagonal, but breaking out. He's not good with knight forks. Your opponent, that is. Alright, good game. Anyway, that was entertaining. Sumaher versus Cassiopeia. Let me get a glass of water. Guys, we're only going to do 7 or 8 games tonight because I had to start late due to heat emergency. Shorter analysis stream. Please donate in sports stream. Astrobate 900 bits. WJ Loof 500. Uber Driver 500 this week. We had 5 gift subs from Mr. Slow. LHS earlier this week with 2. Let's start. It's never too late to start supporting the stream. Appreciate it, guys and girls. Speaking of girls, I thought we had a submission of Princess Chess, but I guess not. Alright. So, Sumaher number 6. The Pawn Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle. Sumaher playing white. So there's a lot of interesting stuff here. I mean, e4 is the big move. Uber Driver knows all of Frank Marshall's tricks. Marshall's many gambits. But that's the sharpest move. That's dynamic for white. I mean, white sacrifices material for the initiative here. And he usually gets it. I mean, gets the initiative. So if you like dynamism and sharp chess, this is Modern Chess Opening Theory recommended by Swayton. Swayton gives this an example as an example of a modern variation where white sacrifices material for the initiative. Takes, knight takes, check, bishop d2, sacrificing the pawn. Modern gambit play. You've never looked more American than you do now. They like the wife beater, obviously. I hope one of our common friends appreciates that it's 95 degrees with no air conditioning here. Down from 101. Alright. I used to dress like this even when I did streams when it was like in the lower 90s. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, guys. Record donations tonight. Appreciate it. So anyway, I like e4 and I also like knight f3. And what do I want to recommend? In the note boom, you have to know what to do against the note boom. This is the big deal. Okay. Uberdrive, did you ever meet Yuli Kolodkin? Like an old Russian candidate master? He was like in his 70s when he would play at the Boylston Chess Club. He used to play the pawn triangle and the note boom. I remember beating him with e4. I used to love to do this. It's never been considered a reliable variation for white, and I lost Alex Kalkstein once pretty bad. But I always found it fun. It's similar to the Geller Gambit. But another good move is Bishop G5, the Beliavsky. This kind of takes some of the wind out of it. Though I suspect white might try something fun like H4 maybe. I guess on H4, Knight F6 kind of kills that. Yeah. Anyway, Bishop E7 is the best defense. So there's lots of fun stuff. I don't like this. This is lame. Lame. Rockport played this with white against Shanklin. It's considered an inaccurate move order. I don't know what happens if like CD. Kamsky with black. But I would expect ED. Yawn. It's a reverse Caro-Kann exchange variation. But at least we get in Bishop F4. So white is equal. Congratulations, white. Congratulations on your delayed London system. No, but Sumaher, you can't play this stuff. Hello, I played a game back in 2019 against Jules Massard. Yeah. In an attempt to get my GM norms, the game ended in a draw. You just imported it to lichess. If I can't get to it tonight, I will analyze it on my next week's stream. I'm happy to put it on the list, but it's getting late and I don't know. It may have to wait until next week. Normally I don't analyze games from non-subscribers, but I'll make occasional exceptions. Sounds like an interesting game. Yubanis, can you put that in our list? Willing to take the occasional random submission. So C takes D5, E takes D5, Bishop F4, Knight F6. Alright, yeah, I mean, it's a Caro-Kann reversed. Bishop F5 kind of seems important. That's what white would do in the Caro-Kann. No more minority attack. Yeah. Bishop F5 kills you. Queen B3 is a dead end. Draw. Mr. Coffee donated tier 1 sub. Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for engaging, Lucas D. Appreciate it when new people come along and engage in the stream. This is just Deadville, you know. You're playing black in the Caro-Kann exchange tempo up. I know, dude. I've done stuff like this. In Blitz especially. But I know that it's harmless. But that's the best you can do. I mean, the other move is Queen C2. So I'm supposing like G6, setting up Bishop F5. It's nothing for white. Yeah, this move order is, well, it was a specialty of a guy I knew, David Grigo. Unfortunately, Grigo died recently. Fantastic player. He was a massive expert on the black side of the semi-Slav, but he used to use the pawn triangle move order. He would just play like knight f3, knight f6, and he was a big expert on the Bafnik. But a lot of like weak players would do this against him to try to get a draw. And I saw, you know, games where like exactly this happened. For example, like Bishop f4, Bishop f5. And Grigo would get like a slight edge with black somehow. I think there's also like knight a6, knight b4 in some variation, if you're not careful. But objectively, white should probably be equal. Not worse or something. This seems strange. So, by playing knight on bd7, black transposes back into... Like, you see all these games, because he just transposed back into, like, a more normal kind of exchange variation. This is actually a bad move, probably. Inaccurate, you know, not taking advantage of the opportunity to get your bishop to f5. This move I have no knowledge of whatsoever. That's his dark square bishop. He needs that piece. It would normally go to e7. You have a knight h5 thing going on tonight, Uber driver. This bishop is important, though. Oh, he did it anyway. It makes you wonder, is this a move? Probably not, right? Take. Takes. Back. It's just equal. So you have to play bishop g5. Or this. So if bishop g5, you keep that knight hanging out in limbo. This guy's move makes some sense. Black actually played bishop e7. Oh my god. He's ending up in like a tempo down sort of Queen's Gambit exchange there. I think it's better to play bishop there because we want to call this into question. I suspect. It's not like bishop g3 is bad, but he's going to take this. Yeah, that move is sus. So let's say he takes. You take back. You have some vague pressure on h7. He plays like g6. I mean, what are you going to do? Play the London system? Castle queenside? I am really not that excited about it. You can try it either way. It's an option. But you can also just play safe and castle kingside with nothing. Nothing. So he plays there, leaving e5 open. What's up with e5? I like his knights a lot. Now I don't know. I mean, there's something weird about those knights. I mean, what happens if you play like bishop h4? What is going on here? Bishop h4, h6. Knight e5, g5. But maybe you should think about like encouraging this guy to play g5 somehow. The other obvious move is bishop e5, back again. I mean, that's really weird. You know, he could go here. I don't know what's going on. So Sumaher just kept it simple. Castle kingside. And it's objectively, like, totally, like, equal now. You're playing the Caro-Kann. Why does he not take now? I would instantly take now. You don't want your knight just hanging out there. What? Why is he not taking this? Now you have bishop h4. I can't believe the guy didn't take. Why would you put your knight? You had to force him to take? No, seriously, is this a good move? It is. Wow, it's like +2. I didn't think it was that good. Man, the guy's crazy to, like, not take that bishop before. Yeah. I didn't realize how strong it is. Well, you're threatening to win a piece with g4. Or at least, like, destroy his position. You might even have queen takes h5 some positions. Yeah, this is just too passive. So now you're literally playing the Caro-Kann. Bishop f5 takes his diagonal away. He still doesn't do it. Yeah, I don't know about f4. I don't think f4 is a good idea. Not here. This is just too weak. No, you've just got to accept that this is a draw, and you're playing the black side of the Caro-Kann exchange variation. f4 is a bad idea. If after f6, I mean, unless you have some sort of weird tactic I'm not seeing, I am not signing up for this. I mean, I understand, like, you could take and play like king f2, and you're probably not lost or anything. But I'm not real excited about this. Black's better after f6. Not winning, but better. But he plays queen f6. It's just like, my god, man. Knight on e5. Talk about Pillsbury. Now maybe bishop h5. Interesting probing move. Ooh, we've got tactics, e4. He goes back now. Something about Black's game is weird. Very tempting to play e4. Is he just toast after e4? This looks really strong. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. Your move is probably good too, but you're busting his center. And I don't think, you know, he just lost immediately after this. You just like take and take on f7. This looks crushing. g4 is second best. You're playing it like a stonewall attack. Now you got the weakness here again, so maybe rook f3. Rook f3, anybody? That's kind of like last resort. I'm sad now. I didn't want his bishop to get there. I mean, I don't know, man. He can still play f6. Drops a piece. No. I guess king h8. H-file could be a problem. Finally, I've been waiting for that move. Is it just me or black doesn't know how to move his pawns? He literally can't move the pawns. Like, they're stuck. He just, like, sets them up in the initial formation and then can't move them after that. It's weird. He knows about that rule, right? Like, you can move your pawns. Are you sure? Did you tell him? I think he doesn't know you can move them like a second time or whatever. You got monster knights. Beautiful. Finally, he only moved the pawn because he had to. Like, you're literally threatening rook takes h7. And that's like a forced mate, practically. Ouch. Oof. So what's the best move here? Queen g6? Out of curiosity. What is, like, literally the best move? It's not rook takes c7. It would be here, threatening mate. And after this, you take with the queen, threatening mate here. Anyway, we're clearly winning. It don't matter. Alright, good game. Very clean. But the opening was a mistake. Cooking Rooks is here. Gifted a tier 1 sub to B-Jack. B-Jack was slumming with no sub. Cooking Rooks picked him up. Cooking Rooks, welcome. Yeah, B-Jack was like begging. Can I, you know, like the Popeye cartoon? I'll gladly like submit a game today for a hamburger tomorrow. Had no time for streams during the day. Work is crazy this week. I had to start late because of heat emergency here. It was over 100 degrees today. Fahrenheit. Alright. Cooking Rooks. Cooking Works is no longer a train conductor. Asterbait is the train conductor. We couldn't get a hype train started today. Guys, we're only going to be streaming for a little bit longer. I've got 2 more games left. Nefidov requested that I don't use the engine whatsoever. And I'm here to make everyone happy. It's my job. I'm here to make you happy. So, what US state are you in? Duani Shemi. I'm not in US state. I am living in Budapest, Hungary, and it's basically like 100 degrees. I used to like to go to the US in the summer to escape from this place. But I unfortunately had to sell my house and no longer have a residence in the United States due to lack of residence. I wish I was in like New England right now. I would always spend every summer the last 10 years or so in the US till last year with the pandemic. But it's relentlessly hot right now in Central Europe. E4, E5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6, d4. The good old Scotch gambit. We're getting rain, man. Big time rain tomorrow. Tomorrow's my poker night. I'm back to playing live poker. Anyway, poker's an indoor sport, so it doesn't matter if it rains. It's alright. We need rain. D4, E takes D4, E5, D5. And now, white is supposed to play bishop B5. Like, check this out. 1,442 games with bishop B5. 1 game with bishop B3? That's unbelievable. What? That's unbelievable. Nobody took on f6, for example. I mean, this is not the be-all and end-all of chess analysis. The Chess Opening Explorer on lichess is a very limited game. You know, it has limited amount of games. It is not a substitute for professional chess database. Still, I'm a little surprised. There's literally only one game where someone didn't play this. And what does Nefedov's opponent do? Something that's not in the Opening Explorer. Castles. So I was thinking about this too. Logic would dictate that it's bad because no one plays it. Why did the chicken cross the road? But there are variations where it's very similar positions where this is a normal thing to do. You do see engines playing different moves than GMs even the first 7 moves. Well, I mean, now the engines, the computers use, I mean, whatever. The Grandmasters use the engines to analyze the openings, so we're seeing less and less deviation. It's gotten to the point where that never used to be the case. You know, people would trust their own analysis more than computers. But I'm seeing now the point we've reached where human Grandmasters are developing their opening repertoire kind of based on whatever the computers say. But nevertheless, I just want to say, like, on Bishop e5, this is the bomb. I've had several interesting games, and the engine confirms this is actually better than 94. This was always thought to be the main line. But if you go back to Bronstein, you know, 200 open games, Bronstein knew this was a good move. Way before the era of computers. It's psychological. It looks like it's a retreating move, so it must not be as good as the forward move 94. 97 is actually better, according to the engine, and also according to my practical results. The only reason this is more popular is because it feels like it's more aggressive. Anyways, White has a very unusual move here, Castle. Alright. So, Nefedov takes on c4, but we're not forced to take on c4. I think you have to consider the other options. I mean, you've got a lot of options. This is no longer an option because of bishop takes d5. You've got to consider 94 now. Is this the classic silliness like this line? Black's up a piece here. Okay, that doesn't work. So that doesn't work. I mean, it's possible this would transpose, but it's still a weird move order. So Nefedov takes it, you know, he takes him by the scruff of his neck. He was like, I am not afraid of this. Takes. Well, normally in the variations where this happens, White's like taking on g7 already, and like damaging black structure. See, the problem is here, Nefedov could just like take with the queen. I mean, first of all, that would be the first thing I would look at. What if we just can take this pawn and with impunity? I guess I'd have to say I don't get it. This is defended. Bishop g5 is queen g6. You can't take here without dropping your bishop. Checks are the question, but they can always be met by like bishop e6. So it looks like White is out of luck. I mean, you could maybe play some extended gambit, knight d2. Just play it down a pawn. So my instinct is queen takes f6. Pretty much shuts it down. I don't see a reason to do anything else. But Nefedov plays a different move, allowing this pawn to capture on g7. And in this case, you know, we're probably intending to castle queenside. My instinct is that they're both probably good. Now we played bishop g5 and it just looks stupid. Now we take. It just looks like, you know, black's up 2 pawns or whatever. Thanks for the pawns. Bishop h4. Slightly annoying pin here. But I don't believe in white's position. This is very solid. Not the most dynamic square for the bishop, by the way. Nefedov is a aggressive player with black. Usually he plays the Schliemann. You know, this is not ridiculous. Consider playing like here, queen d5, and that bishop might be, sorry, nice diagonal. This bishop might actually come to life later on. But I think it's okay. I think you can forget about attacking white down a g-file because of the bishop g3. Now a very hesitant move by black. Queen d7. This is like screaming to be played. The problem is knight e4, rook e1, knight e4, and then f6 is weak. But this queen could easily shift to like f5. So let's say queen d5, rook e1, castles queenside, knight e4, queen f5 or something. And now the black queen is actually much more active than it would be on d7. Knight g3 here. I assume white is lost in this position. You know, he's basically lost down 2 pawns without any compensation. So this is kind of hesitant. Actually, it's more than hesitant. I mean, that's just a mistake, right? I mean, white has knight e4. How are you defending this? Like, it's a major inaccuracy. Here, check, takes, rook g8. You can't castle. Ops-colored bishops. I really wish my queen was on d5. Am I missing something, anybody? I mean, how can white miss this move? Like, what else is there to do? Maybe Nefedov would just sack a pawn. This is even more annoying. This is really annoying. The bishop. Well, I mean, you could do this type of stuff if that's what you're suggesting. It's a little awkward. Bishop g3 and like here or something. I assume rook g8 is probably a serious option. I mean, you're going to castle queenside anyway. Definitely. So this is a huge mistake, queen d7, and the guy misses it. Huge opportunity there. He's too interested in material. And by the way, another reason why our queen should be on d5. Nefedov declines the ability to play, you know, of course, b5 because it looks like white could try to open him up. I mean, I guess this needs to be considered, though. It may be better to just play d3 than lose the c-pawn. So we're up a pawn. We were good centralization. But again, like, this is always like a fun killer. I mean, you're never going to get anything on that open file with the bishop on g3. That's the end of the line. There's nothing you can do to the white king with the bishop on g3 like that. He's just like immune. h5, h4 will never happen. f5, f4 will never happen. Forget about it. Don't even think about trying to attack him on the g file. Try to just focus on other stuff. Finally, queen d5. Yeah, Nefedov tries to play f5, but I don't know. This pawn is controlling the e5 square. I feel like Nefedov should be thinking about trading queens and winning with his queenside majority. You know, that's what I would be like. Let's win with the queenside majority in the endgame. Look, 4 pawns against 3. The f5, what are we doing? Are we like attacking him? Maybe there was another idea involved. But just hypothetically, Take, take, take. He really should try to avoid trading queens. I think he has very close to a lost ending. So probably queen b2. But again, Nefedov has very good chances to win. Okay, here, f5. I'm a little skeptical of the control of e5. And now, yeah. I mean, what did I say about trading queens? Winning endgame for black, maybe. 4 against 3. The f-pawn's not a big deal in the ending. No, I mean, we're winning with our 4 against 3, and the 3 against 3 double pawns are a draw. It's like an exchange Lopez. It doesn't matter what our passive pawns are like, you know, on the king side. We need the pawns to be healthy on the side where we have the majority. I think Nefedov should be happy to trade queens here. It looks like very good chances to win with good technique. He actually allows white, you know, hypothetically a chance to not trade queens. I'm not sure if tactically it works or not, but let's just say here. Very big dangers like queen f3, f4, bishop takes f4, queen f3. But maybe white has another move, maybe not. Doesn't look like he has another move. Another thing, I don't want to lose this pawn on d4. Please. So let's just trade queens. Can we just trade queens? Bishop takes. There might be bishop d5, by the way. That looks kind of unpleasant. Look at this line. Here. King h1. c5. And I'm betting on black here. Alright, so this is kind of random. I guess it works, though. It doesn't look like white can win this pawn. One thing I will say, I didn't really want to trade our bishop pair off, but I guess it's alright. That might come in handy now. Whoa. Trading on f3, master. Why would you do a thing like that? I don't love this bishop takes f3. By the way, I mean, he was very close to rook takes g2. But it just doesn't quite work. I mean, like, king takes, check, bishop g3, takes. It's not enough. I don't like this move. He's paralyzed, so why not just, like, rook e8? This bishop is very strong. We have a winning queenside majority. Move 11, welcome. Do unto others pawn structure as they do unto yours. Well, I just think, like, Nefedov may be still winning, but I don't really want to give this bishop up when stronger than the knight. You know, advantages are incremental, and Nefedov is giving up some of his advantage here. Is it enough to, like, make it a draw? Probably not. But it's still some of his advantage he's, like, giving away voluntarily with bishop takes f3. I don't like it. And this is a very strange move. Why would you put your rook on d7 when there's an open file here? I understand he wants to be, like, behind this pawn, but realistically, you need the king to come here. This looks very strange. I mean, I don't know if he's planning rook g7 or what. Here, king up. We win by kingside or queenside majority. This bishop's a little restricted. Yeah, now we have interesting moves. Like rook g6 is interesting. I like this move. Then again, from White's perspective, he has rook g4. See, I don't like this dynamic. Our bishop is like the passive one that's guarding the pawn. And his bishop is like attacking and tying us in knots. That's not a bad thing. Something finally happened here. So he did get control of e1. And now this penetration, Nefedov creates Luft. So rook d3 is like an atrocity. But what is White supposed to do? Something, do something. Rook here, I guess. Rook here. Is White lost here? -4. That's pretty convincing. This rook on the 7th is just too strong. He's going to eat everything. And that's it. Too many pawns. I mean, clearly White should take here. I'm not that certain about this anymore. Did Nefedov make a mistake? Yeah, why didn't he play c5? Wait. Why can't you play this? Yeah, man. Pawns should be protected by pawns. It's over. Nefedov rushed here with rook e2. Though the computer said he was still winning. I mean, I'm not sure the margin for error is that high. This was winning according to the engine. It's not clear. Yeah, this is a big mistake, man. You play c5, and there's no stopping rook e2. I wasn't supposed to turn on the engine. I turned it on. I'm sorry, Nefedov. I just couldn't resist. I wasn't allowed. But we're practically done. I just wanted to see, like, really. Anyway, rook e2, and it's probably winning, but requiring very good technique. The queenside majority. Here we don't have to rush again. This is going to get a little sharp now, unfortunately, because our king is cut off. This should have been a close ending. I'm just wondering, well, I guess what options do we have here? I don't understand White's play at all. Like, he took here and he played king g1. What is that? He thought he was getting mated. I'm not sure if you should take maybe on c2. This. I mean, I would assume Black's pawns are a little faster than White's pawns. But not a lot of margin for error here. Maybe now you take this. He plays king g1 and then here. And then takes here and then takes here. And you probably win with like 3 connectors against 2 Isolani like that. But it's still going to take like 30 moves to finish him off. Or something. It takes technique here. But White's play was really, really stupid. I mean, king g1 is like ridiculous. And now that's protected, so you're up 2 pawns. And now he gave you a rook. A very interesting move. Dabo says, Helston's book, one of my games is used as a practice diagram. Well, that doesn't sound good. I played Yuri a couple of times. The last time I played him was a draw with white, but I suspect I lost a couple times against him. That's not good. Practice diagram. I don't want to be a practice diagram. Don't tell me about that. Alright, last game. It's late, guys. I started late. This is our last game. Cheese Master Deluxe versus YK17. The old A3. Of course, made most famous by being played against Paul Morphy. It was my move too. I think I only played Shulman with black once. It was a Nimzo. Huh. Maybe I'm forgetting though. I think I lost against him. He stated you shouldn't have drawn. I did draw. That's weird. I don't remember that game. Thanks, Nefedov. Alright. C4, C5, knight C3, knight C6, G3, E6, bishop G2. So this is like kind of a passive. I think it's kind of a passive formation for black. So far, so good. That's okay. But now, you must hit him now. Bang. There's only one way to play this. You have to play D5 here. You're smashing him for this inaccurate setup white is playing. I played the English all my life. This doesn't look right. You gotta pop him in the center with D5 here. It just doesn't look right for white. I think white is already worse after D5. Big problem. Maybe white can play it. It's some sketchy setup. I have a friend who plays stuff like this with black, you know, but I don't trust white's position. You're making a big mistake by not playing D5. This is a little too passive. Now you should definitely hammer him with D5. We have one viewer here, Acerbate. He doesn't like to play D5 either. Okay, it's not as strong as it was. White can probably meet it with like bishop G5. I still think D5. Now you got it in. Good. Better late than never. And I don't know that white should give up the center here. He can play it, actually, he can play it like a delayed Tarash. Now maybe this is a good move. You can take with the knight, safer. Not a very exciting position though. I think you're doing the right thing. Now white's move. What is it? What is the best move for white here? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. D4. This is the move. You have to stop black from playing D4. I think this is definitely the best. I don't like the white has played A3. I would prefer if that pawn was back on A2, actually. Maybe even C4 with the Tarash reverse, where this move is not very helpful. Like white could like end up with a knight on B3 or something. Yeah, now you're rolling. Yeah, he's in trouble now. This doesn't look good. Just crushed him centrally. Fundamentals. Here, And now this is okay. I would alternatively at least momentarily consider my other options like knight d5. If you had more time, it's probably too slow here. If you had more time, maybe b6 and you can oust his knight, like h6. If you had all the time in the world, you could play h6, f5, b6. But alright, this seems right. Now, here it's about pawn structure again, just like the last game. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strategy is determined oftentimes by the pawn structure. In this case, it's even better than the last game where Nefedov had like 4 on 3. It's a 4 on 2 on the queen side. Problem is that White's 5 on 3 on the king side is hampered by his doubled pawns. These doubled pawns. But obviously the main factor is that these pawns are really far advanced. You know, we could play like bishop e6, yeah, and c4. Well, I think the thing is, like, when you say go to endgame, I don't think the queens being on the board here matter, you know. I think it doesn't matter. You're not playing for a mate. You're playing for queening a pawn. Probably trade of queens is totally neutral to the result of the game here. I'm not trying to trade queens. You know, this in fact is very interesting. Queen b6. You could play like a5, a4, clamping down more. Maybe some sort of bishop e3. And obviously, you know, another very clear move is c4. He can break with e3. Then you push to d3, and this looks very, very bad for White. I can't imagine White surviving this, but maybe there's some way. If he can blockade. Some way he can blockade. I don't see how he's going to break up those pawns. This looks very good for Black. Again, like, trading doesn't really change the evaluation of this position. Black remains an advantage. I just don't want anything to break up these pawns, like b4. Does he have b4? So I'm thinking f6. Like Ben Feingold says, you never play f6, right? Don't take people's advice too literally. You gotta maybe kick him off before this pawn falls. You know, so if you play f6, it does minimal damage to your king side. Your bishop actually has a retreat square, and then there's no pressure on d4. If you play this now, if he tries to break you up, you have all kinds of options. You just give him a rook with like bishop c7. No, probably not. You take here, and play c4, I guess, not give him this. But White is clearly in trouble. Maybe f6. I'm afraid of b4 here. This concerns me. Maybe it's nothing. I don't know. I'm very concerned about this. What are we going to do? Cooking Rooks just donated a sub to Duan Shenmi. Guys, I'm on my way out the door soon after this game, but thanks everyone for watching. We're going to be back on Friday with Blitz challenges. Thanks, Cooking Rooks. Former hype train conductor. F6, F4, F6, F5. I'm very concerned about this. How do we handle this? You might have to play like bishop c4. It looks like maybe this. Take, and play this. And let him take here and just take here. And just crank that b pawn down. You know, hopefully it's enough. It's not as good as connected passed pawns, but this looks pretty good. I suspect you excellent chances to win now. maybe winning. But again, like b4 is his only resource. Major move. He has to strike. Yeah, I mean, he's played too passive. You played this right. I mean, these pawns are just 3-on-1. 2 connected pass pawns in the making. Yeah, white just doesn't even have a clue what's going on. And now it's just over. Exactly, and takes this way. So, that's it. Game over. 2 connectors, queenside majority. Pawn structure determines the plan. Again. Very solid play and steady play by black. Bishop c5. Exactly. Anonymous gifter named Move11. You showed up as an anonymous gifter at first. An anonymous gifter named Move11 is showing up with 5 gift subs. Jern Vlad. And by the way, Jern Vlad donated to the stream the other day. Thanks a lot, Vlad. SR2004, Oliveira Lucas. Dabo 5000, who's here now. Codex. Thank you, Move11. Cooking Rooks, 200 bits. This is a game over situation. B3. Trade it down. In the endgame is a microcosm. So when you have 2 connected pass pawns, I mean, they're just that much more valuable when the game is more simplified. So that earlier question about the queens being on the board, I mean, maybe I didn't answer the question correctly. You know, when you have a majority of like 3-to-1 on the queen side, maybe trading queens is the right thing to do, because essentially your advantage is magnified as there's less material on the board. As it is the case here, and there's only heavy pieces left, these pawns just win. Thank you very much. Cooking Rooks, 200 bits. Epic attempt for the hype train at the buzzer. But we're going down in flames. Literally flames. Temperature is hitting 101 degrees here in Budapest today. But tomorrow the rains will come and wash the spider away. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was a little bit of a shortened analysis stream due to extreme afternoon temperatures. I thought I was going to pass out at about 6:30. But we made it. What do you think about my game? I think it's a great game. For someone who just started playing chess a year ago. I think it was very logically played and very quality game. Like you've been playing all your life. Alright folks, I'm out. Cooking Rooks, thanks for your help. Thanks Move11, very generous as always. Mr. Slowhand, Asterbait, Mr. Coffee. Thanks to all of you who supported the stream. Thank you guys. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Let's see, 11 a.m. CEST, Central European Summertime. Thanks, Mr. Coffee, for being our mod. It is going to be cooler tomorrow. We haven't had rain in like 2 or 3 weeks. It's pretty crazy. So it's going to cool down. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, hopefully. And make sure to play hooky from work so you can join the stream. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.